Moving on up, moving on up.
Time to break free.
Nothing can stop me.
us.
Yeah.
Me. We're back.
We're back for another episode.
We are.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today, darling?
We are talking about two things which you would think would be polar opposite, but are actually experienced quite the same.
Very connected.
Yeah, which is post-tour blues and reverse culture shock.
Yeah.
Something that we both have experienced.
Separately,
Yeah.
but connect on because the emotions that are invoked are very similar.
Yeah. So in a previous episode, we briefly touched on post-tour blues and my
leaving a band and that kind of
grief
that comes up, which is kind of similar to what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, along with my experience that I had in moving back to Australia and how that affected me and how it was quite similar.
Yeah.
So we thought for this episode, we'd actually dive a little bit deeper into our experiences with that.
With both of those things, yeah.
Yeah. And a little bit of the science behind actually why it happens and what goes on, because it's something that a lot of musicians experience.
100%. A lot of my friends have also experienced the tour blues. It's a well-known phrase within the industry, and it's really horrible to go through. But we're going to give you guys some strategies that we use for both of our respective issues and experiences with post-tour blues and reverse culture shock. So stay tuned till the end.
Yeah. So I guess for me, reverse culture shock was something that was probably one of the biggest surprises of my life so far.
That's very true.
Isn't it?
It was a surprise. And I don't think either of us were expecting it to happen. There wasn't any information out there about it, so we didn't really know what was happening until we dig deeper into how you were feeling.
I didn't even know what it was, like reverse culture shock. What even is that? Like I knew what culture shock was because I experienced that moving to the UK, but as a returning expat back to Australia, I sort of had a feeling something was going to happen when we moved back, but what I experienced was on a completely different level. So I think the best way to start is how I felt when I lived in England. And for me, it was one of the best things I ever did in my life.
Yeah.
It completely stripped me bare in the best of ways. It was really... It hurt. It was painful at the beginning. It was ripping away layers of trauma, layers of expectations, layers of absolutely everything. But what it gave me was the chance to rebuild myself back up to who I wanted to be, away from everything that I had known, which was incredible. I got the chance to live in a different culture. I got the chance to meet different people, even down to buying loaves of bread and milk was completely different.
Yeah. Everything you were seeing, hearing, smelling.
It was completely different. Got to travel loads. And to be honest, it wouldn't have mattered if it was England or Italy or Canada. I would have had the same experience because it was somewhere other than my normal.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was just living my absolute best life. Every day was an adventure. So
exciting.
Yeah. I would walk to work every day and it was about a 3-kilometer walk and I'd walk to and from work.
You did.
And one of the main reasons, other than I love walking in nature, is that I got to see everything. I got to experience everything. I got to see different architecture, different buildings.
See how people live their daily life.
Yeah.
Like the kind of school run and the work traffic and what people do in the summer holidays. And
it was completely different. And so when we made the decision to move back to Australia, towards the end, as we were coming to the point of actually moving back, I started to think, oh no, I'm feeling weird. what's happening?
Which was funny because for quite a long time when we lived in England together, because listening to, and especially at the start when you moved to England, listening to John Farnham would be very emotional. It would remind you of home.
100%. What was the songs I used to play?
Burn for You, wasn't it?
Oh my goodness.
And we'd be driving to do our groceries. Yeah, Lauren would be crying in the car. I'd be like, we'll change the music. And you're like, no, I need to hear it. And you'd just be sobbing. And you're like, I miss how everything burns in Australia. And
it was so crazy. It was so crazy. And I also felt such a sense of pride. Like, people would ask me so many questions about Australia, and they'll be like, oh my goodness, your country's beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
What's it like living with all the spiders?
Yeah, and I'd be like, it's fine. Or I'd be like, they're scary, just to like scare them. So I felt this immense sense of pride, but what it also gave me was people made me feel like, this is going to sound so ego, but
it was your experience.
It wasn't. Yeah. I felt special. I felt seen.
Yeah.
And
unique.
I was unique. And all of a sudden I had this identity of the Aussie expat living in England. And for one of the first times in my life, I had felt not only free, but almost important in a weird way.
Do you think you felt just really seen?
I felt really seen.
Not just lost in the crowd amongst people of your own country. You were, as you said, the Aussie in London.
Yeah, I felt so seen.
Which isn't accurate. There's lots of Aussies in London.
There's a lot,
but that's how you felt
but
in your
bubble. But that's how I felt.
Of daily life. Yeah.
So then I found myself living this identity, which is, we all do it. So going back to, it was towards the end of, as we were coming back to Australia, and we just said, I started to feel really weird. And I sort of knew that I was like, oh, what am I going to do when we move back to Oz? Yeah. And I'm just back in my hometown, back with the same people, living the same way.
Where you started from.
Back where I started from. Yeah. When I was in England, I felt like I had grown so much. But I think the key is I just felt like I was truly living, and I had this, every day was exciting, and I had this heightened sense of like achievement and wonder and purpose, curiosity. It literally changed my DNA. Yeah. So then we moved back to Australia.
COVID.
Yep, it's during COVID. We had to go into hotel lockdown, quarantine.
Lockdown?
Yeah, and that was an experience.
2 weeks in one room.
I enjoyed it.
And we couldn't leave, and we got COVID tested every 3 or 4 days, didn't we?
Yeah. So it didn't feel like we were back in Australia really at that point, because we were just locked in this room.
And it literally was quarantine. I guess it's that no man's land in between. Yeah,
exactly. So I won't go into too many details because we'll be here for literally hours. But from that moment, for about the next 2 years, I would say, would you say 2 years?
Yeah, because we've been back in Australia for about 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's probably right.
So for the next 2 years, what I then experienced, as we now know, is actually called reverse culture shock. And I felt lonely. I felt like no one cared that I just had the most amazing 5 years of my entire life. Everyone thought and kept saying to me, but aren't you happy to be back home? And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm genuinely not happy to be back, because I could not feel it. I couldn't connect it. My nervous system was completely shot, because for the last 5 years I had rewired everything to be living in England, and then I'm back in this country where I'm such a different person, but everyone is expecting me to just be the same. And all I wanted to do was share my experiences, because that's now who I am, and that's what's shaped me.
Yeah, and you want to share those experiences because of that, because it has shaped you, it's changed
so profoundly.
You. And so when people don't really
And it's not
want
their
to have
fault.
a conversation about it. They can't connect to it. It's like,
it's heartbreaking.
It must almost feel like, well, what was the point?
Well, I felt like, what was the point of being back here?
Right, yeah.
And nothing I could do or think about made it any better. All I wanted to do was go back to England. And I even remember, like, the Ed Sheeran song Castle on the Hill.
Yes.
Couldn't listen to it. It broke my heart because there's what is it actually about? It's about his
I think it's about his
friends.
Yeah, his friendship group growing up and like in Norfolk maybe in England.
Yeah.
And
always going
must
back
have been
home.
The castle on the hill.
Yeah. And all I could think about was that's what it was.
Yeah.
I think there's a lyric in the song where it's like, they raised me.
Yeah. These people raised me. Can't wait to go home.
Oh, and every time I listened to it, I was like, England raised me. Yeah. My experience in those 5 years literally raised me into the human I am today.
Yeah, and you're so grateful for it.
So eternally grateful.
But there's a pain in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was insane. And it took 2 years.
It took 2 years.
2 years.
And I would say you're still dealing with it now, but you have so many more tools.
Yeah.
That grief is different.
Mm-hmm.
I think we learn to live with our grief.
I believe grief never leaves. Like you said, I believe. Yeah. And you learn to live in it and with it and maybe use it as a tool.
With a new normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Can you listen to that song?
I can now.
Now?
But we're going to see Ed Sheeran soon. And when he plays it, I think I'm going to cry. I literally think I'm going to sob my eyes out.
So I need to know where in the set list that is so that I can be prepared with these arms.
Yeah.
And not knock my drink over.
It's going to be a wild ride.
But you know what? Let those emotions out.
Yeah.
It's all part of that healing process.
It is. And I remember us having conversations about, you know, when I finally realized that it was reverse culture shock, what I was feeling. I remember saying to you, I think this is really similar to what, like, you've gone through with post-tour blues.
Yeah, I think I remember you saying, babe, I finally get it. I get what you were talking about when you've had this amazing, however long the tour has been, and you've been hanging out with the band, the crew, seeing all these amazing places in Europe, you know, different day, different city, the travel, the food, the people, the fans, those conversations at the merch stand after the show. And then you come home and you don't have that sense of purpose. You don't have that routine. Your tour family aren't there. All those just amazing and funny little memories that you make on the road, whether you're at the servo or backstage.
Oh, the servo.
Yeah, the service station. Yeah, like no one gets it. and you go to your local supermarket and you're just another face in the crowd. Unless you were maybe a massive celebrity, people would know you, but they still haven't been on that experience and that ride with you. And that adrenaline of, you know, travel day, gig day, lots of waiting around, but you get into your routine.
And the ups and the downs, and you get used to that.
And then those people, I think a lot of it is the connections you make.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the same with when you were in England. You made all these new connections, not just with people, but with the
land.
Nature. Yeah, I was going to say the land is such an important
and the
part
culture.
of it.
Connection to culture, which is what you experience now here in Australia, is that connection to the land and the culture.
So it makes me think 5 years down the track of
we're at
being
that point.
here.
Yeah.
It's a similar, probably just over the time that we spent in England together. And if we were moving back to England now, I would really miss Australia.
You'd struggle.
Like the place, the culture, how friendly the people are, and the friends I've made, and the memories in the places that
and
we hang out.
How much this experience has changed you.
Yeah.
Like it changed me. You've had the same experience.
I have, yeah. And I've grown, I've spread my wings, my confidence is in a different place. Yeah. It would be like being ripped away from your new home.
Yeah.
And I can see why that would be really depressing.
Yeah. Do you have any stories or moments of when either it's been, you know, a run of gigs or a tour that you've come off? Can you think of a time where you've really felt that change, that post-tour blues or post-gig crash, and how it felt? What was it? What was that moment?
So I was thinking about this earlier, and I think the one that keeps springing to mind, and I believe that's for a reason, hopefully we'll uncover it as we talk, is when I went on tour with my friend Erica, and we did a European tour with her music. She's a DIY artist. And
was that when I was in Amsterdam as well?
Yeah, yeah. So you've
Separate
gone
story.
away. You've gone away to Amsterdam, and we were somewhere in Europe.
Yeah.
And it was just a great, it might have been actually the tour before you went to Amsterdam, but it would have been a similar feeling. And we just had so many, it was the one that you're thinking of was such a spiritual tour for us. There were 3 of us. And despite our guitar player not being English, I was trying to learn his language. He was trying to learn our language, but we still had music in common. We could communicate with the few phrases that we had, with our body language, with music, and had such a close relationship on that tour. Met people that helped us, even with trivial things like where to park, what the parking signs said when you're reading a different language. We played in a wine cave. So we were on a vineyard, and they kept the wine in these natural caves under the vineyard, and we played down there, and just so many magical moments.
Was that the tour that you met the lady who wrote the song for Shakira?
Yeah. Yeah,
that was the tour.
It was that tour, yeah. So meeting people, playing all these, we played in people's living rooms, and their friends and family and other fans came along. And so we really got to talk to these people and immerse ourselves in their culture. It was such a cool, grounding tour. And then
you came back.
We came back to England.
To reality. To rainy old England.
And it's like you said, no one really cared. So people would say, how was tour?
But that's it.
But that's as far as it goes. And you probably had the same, how was England? I bet you're glad you're back now. And you were like, no, it probably was a similar thing. And we'll talk about strategies more later. But one thing that really helped was that all 3 of us were going through.
So you could lean on each other.
Tour blues. So we had our WhatsApp group and we checked in with each other. And that was a really good way to get through that. Do you feel like you had anything like that when you came back?
No.
Yeah.
Actually, the one thing, I say no, but there was one thing, and it was joining some Facebook groups.
That's right.
Yeah. And that was really, it was a catch-22, I guess, because I went on there for support, and we actually met up with a few people. So I can't remember what the Facebook group's called. It might be Expats Returning Home or something like that. And it was incredible in one sense, because I was saying to you, I remember, I can't believe we're all actually feeling the same. We're all going through exactly the same things. And it wasn't even just a few things. It was everything. Everything.
Which must have been a bit reassuring.
It was
comforting in one sense.
But then what the other side of it was the realization of, how is this ever going to change? How long is it going to take? And I kept reading the posts, and it kept making me sad.
Yeah.
And it just went on and on and on. And I think sometimes in those groups you have to know your limit and know when to get out of it, because it got a bit much. But other than that, there was no support, because I knew no one else here that had gone through it. And as much as you tried to support me, you hadn't directly experienced reverse culture shock, because it is different to culture shock. So the experience I had moving to England and that culture shock was like a 2 out of 10. Coming back was a 15 out of 10. It's completely different for different reasons.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people experience it, but it's not really talked about that much.
It's not.
There maybe aren't that many books written about it. Maybe, I don't know, there people talked about it in podcasts. We'll have to do even more research.
I've tried looking, you know.
Yeah.
I've actually tried looking, not recently, but a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I was really trying to look into it, and there was not really anything about it.
Which I guess makes you feel like it's just you going through it.
It's really not, though.
It's really not. And it's so like parallel to so many other situations. Like you could,
when you retire.
Yeah, or you could go on a, what's it called for the weekend? A retreat for the weekend and really bond with those people and then
have amazing experience.
Yeah, and then you come back and
no one cares.
You live in completely different towns. So yeah, no one got it. They're not on your wavelength with it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And leading on from that, in regards to is there much out there? You know how much I love research.
You love it.
I'm a nerd, hardcore, proud.
Not nerd.
Top not nerd. And I did a bit of research on reverse culture shock, post-tour blues. And what I wanted to see from Google, from ChatGPT, from my own research, and from things I hypothesized, if that's the right word,
sounds
years
great.
ago, we'll run with it, around why does this actually happen? It's not like what I experienced and what a lot of musicians would experience are similar feelings to depression, situational grief, situational depression, right? But it's got to, like, what I felt was so intense. It had to be neurological. Like, it had to be more than just
on that chemical level,
this emotion and I'm just sad because I've left England and now I'm home. Like, it had to be more than that. I wanted to run through and just chat about some of the things that I found, and it was quite interesting. There was
9 points.
9 points. So the first one's dopamine and reward system crash. Identity loss, which they've described as role exit theory.
Yeah, we'll get into that. That's a very interesting one.
Expat reverse culture shock, music industry mental health, neuroplasticity, nervous system and adrenaline regulation, cognitive dissonance. I love these words. Loss of community and your tribe, transitional grief. I love anything about like hormones and
the brain
chemicals and the brain. So this excites me a lot.
So we're going to unpack some of the topics to make sense of why we're feeling how we feel in these situations.
Yeah. And I hope that anyone listening, you can relate this to, like you said, pretty much anything in life, anything that you've
kind of come down from.
Yeah, come down
after
from.
After an amazing experience and time.
Yeah. And just get a little bit of reassurance that, you know, we're not doctors, counselors, professionals in any of this, but, you know, this is just, you can Google all of this, but just get some reassurance that it's not just in your head.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. You're feeling it. And a lot of the time it's because something's going on. Now, dopamine and reward system crash. It says here, high stimulation lifestyles like touring or living abroad activate the brain's mesolimbic dopamine pathway, which is responsible for motivation, reward, anticipation, and drive.
And dopamine's a hormone, right?
I think so. I don't know. Pretty sure. I think it's a chemical.
Okay.
I don't know. It does something that makes us actually want to move. Like it actually makes us want to do something.
So it's kind of like the action.
Yeah, the action. When the stimulation drops, people may experience low mood, reduced motivation, and emotional flatness. So when you've come off this massive tour that you did,
and there's dopamine every day dripping away,
and then all of a sudden it's not there, you're going to feel flat.
Yeah, because chemically it's not happening. That action isn't happening.
And it's not happening consistently.
Yeah.
Which your body then gets used to. So then when it's not there, it's like, okay.
Kind of like caffeine, you know.
Yeah.
You don't have your coffee in the morning, you can feel cranky or...
So neuroscience research shows dopamine responds more to anticipation of the reward than the reward itself, meaning constant upcoming gigs or travel can heighten the baseline dopamine activation.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And it makes sense. The next one is identity loss, and they've named it role exit theory. Psychologists describe identity disruption after major life roles end as role exit. And I really love that because it's really visual.
It's a really cool term for when there's the end of a chapter.
Yeah.
With something. Like if you retire and you've been a doctor all your life, you're exiting that role. That makes so much sense.
Yeah. Now, there's a lady who I think actually came up with this theory. I can't pronounce her name, but sociologist Helen Rose Fuchs-Ebar's role exit theory outlines how leaving major identity roles can trigger disorientation.
Yeah, makes
tick,
sense.
Loss of purpose, tick, and rebuilding of self-concept. I literally experienced all of those.
Yeah, because again, like we said before, you were the Aussie in London. You were feeling special.
And as soon as we got on that plane and we landed in Australia, gone. Exit, stage left. It was gone.
Yeah.
I swear I immediately felt it.
And I guess you were anticipating that loss of that role as well. Because you knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And I think when I've left bands in the past and then not joined a band, it's not that I haven't been a drummer anymore, but I haven't been in a band. There's that loss of that role as well. And it really affects you when you feel like you identified as the drummer in X band, then you're not. Who am I?
And that's why it's really important to still really actively be aware and build those, I don't know how to explain it best. It's just important to be aware that you are not just
one thing. Yeah.
We are
many parts.
What's that theory?
Which one?
I am
that I am.
I don't know. Maybe.
Sounds very profound.
But I always say to you, babe, you're not just a drummer. You're an amazing human. You're an amazing parent to a dog. You know, I could rattle it off for days. But
wow.
No, but it's true.
Yeah, we're all many things. And I think sometimes it's like putting all your eggs in one basket. We kind of, vision in on one aspect of our personality, or like people say, what do you do? And people always talk about
they go to
work.
their profession.
They go to their profession. You know, you don't have to talk about what you do in your day job. You could talk about your passion. You could talk about your family.
Or you could say, I do many things.
Yeah.
I am.
Which one do we want to hear about first?
Exactly. Yeah. The next thing is expat reverse culture shock, which we've already spoken about quite a lot. But the main thing that they speak about here is identity confusion, social disconnect, and emotional distress despite expecting comfort when returning home. I did not expect comfort when returning home. I knew that I was going to feel the way I was going to feel. I just didn't realize to what extent.
Yeah, and how long it would
it was going to last for. Music industry and mental health.
Is this the next point?
It's the next point. It is. The main thing they speak about here is tour environments combine sleep disruption, performance pressure, travel fatigue, and adrenaline spikes. I think the biggest one's probably adrenaline spikes.
Yeah. I don't think that's healthy for anyone. I'd imagine there's a lot of stress hormones happening as well.
It says here actually a survey of over 1,100 touring professionals found more than half met the criteria for depression risk.
Right, yeah.
Highlighting the psychological toll of touring cycles.
Such a big issue with bad mental health for musicians, and there's loads of really great charities out there that are, you know, really helping with counseling services and other strategies to help musicians. I think a lot of people, again, this is kind of why we wanted to do this podcast about the offstage life. We see the glitz and the glam of being, you know, an artist in a band, some sort of performer, and that is true, but there's also
Another
a lot
side.
of waiting around, a lot of traveling, like you said, travel fatigue. On lower budgets, you're not eating properly or you're eating late, time zone differences. It's really missing your family.
But then coming home.
It's really hard to stay fit physically, but especially mentally. And like I think you were about to say, coming home, it just presents a lot of challenges. And if the people you're coming home to don't really understand the concept of the post-tour blues, it must be really hard to communicate with each other about that.
I think even if people do understand, unless you've experienced it,
it's hard.
It's really, really difficult to actually truly empathize.
Yeah.
People can sympathize to a point, but it's such an intense experience.
Like you feel it in your whole
body, which leads me on to the next topic, neuroplasticity, which is just brain wiring or rewiring. The brain adapts structurally to environment and behavior. High novelty and adrenaline wires the brain for stimulation. Returning to slower environments, so returning home after tour or traveling abroad,
environment,
it requires recalibration.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Literally exactly what I had thought about. And I remember thinking, I wonder if it's because my brain's having to rewire itself
to a new culture and a new pace of life.
Well, not new, but
back to the old.
Back to the old. And I guess you expect it to just click back in a bit, like if you've been on tour for a while, but your brain's had to rewire to tour or living abroad. It's going to take time to readjust back, and it's not going to be the same because you're a different person. You're rewired differently, so you're not going to rewire back to who you were.
Exactly the same person, because that person doesn't exist. You've moved on, but maybe where you're coming back to hasn't, because they haven't had the experience you had.
Yeah. And I remember going for a walk when we first moved back, and things that I normally would not have noticed on a walk, I was noticing everything, and I felt myself being so utterly tired and drained, and it must be because my brain was rewiring again. And that takes work and effort, and your brain works on overtime when it has to do that,
when it has to learn anything new.
So I was feeling fatigued, I was tired, I was annoyed, I was angry, and it wasn't just because I was depressed. It's because my brain was literally rewiring itself again.
Yeah.
It's an actual thing that happens.
Yeah, there's actual changes going on in the body.
Yeah.
It's not just, oh, come on, get over it. Like, those comments are very unhelpful.
It doesn't help at all because no one understands. No, it's so difficult.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of like a baby's learning and growing every single day, and there's those teething problems. It's the same when you come back and you're rewiring, relearning, absorbing things. Your filter's different, how you take in information.
Nervous system and adrenaline regulation. Touring activities. Touring activates the sympathetic nervous system, which is our fight or flight system. Post-tour, the body downshifts into parasympathetic recovery, leading to fatigue and emotional release and burnout symptoms.
Yeah. So you can't come back off that high to that kind of rest and relaxation state, and that's when everything hits you. I suppose it's like in my day job, working in education, we have the summer holidays, and that's always when we get sick.
Always.
Because, that parasympathetic nervous
and actually,
system
you
is
get all that.
activated.
You get burnout. You have emotional releases.
Yeah. Yeah.
And fatigue.
Yeah.
Actually do.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Cognitive
Dissonance.
Thank you. Returning individuals, musicians, expats, often feel tension between their evolved identity and unchanged home environment.
I think, yeah, that's exactly what we were speaking about. Like, you've evolved, your home environment maybe hasn't. It's been ticking along. I think we talked about that in past podcasts as well, coming back from tour and your partner's just been ticking along with everyday life, but you've had this fast-paced, very routine existence, and then you come back and there's that dissonance. Yeah.
A loss of community and tribe,
which
we've already spoken about in this. I think the thing is, it's just really, it's connection, isn't it? As we said earlier.
Yeah. And you build deep connections with people when you spend
they
a lot
become
of time
family.
with them. Yeah. And you can start off really clashing with people, but then things happen because it's life and you end up having deep meaningfuls with people, and it shifts your perspective and you become really close by the end of a experience together. So then losing them out of your daily life can be really jarring. Yeah.
And the last one's transitional grief.
Yeah.
Psychologists frame these shifts as situational grief, mourning a chapter, identity, or lifestyle rather than a person.
I feel like there's some hope in that.
Yeah. And so some of the strategies in relation to this that I had to really take on board for me to get out of my funk was reframing and understanding that what I was feeling was I don't want to take that away, but it was transitional grief. And my counsellor, which I
is another strategy,
always thank her for, was the one that really helped me remember to reframe things.
Yeah.
And it was transitional grief. There's another term as well. I think it's called adjustment. I can't remember. Something to do with adjustment.
Okay.
Counselling was probably the biggest thing that helped me.
It definitely, I would say, as your partner, it definitely helped you turn a corner to talk to a third person who, like you, loved the brain and science and could really unpack for you those concepts of like why things were happening.
Yeah.
Rather than just try journaling, try mindfulness, which is great. They're also very good strategies. But for you personally, you like to know chemically in the brain what's going on.
And why it's doing it.
And you found the right counsellor.
Yeah.
Who gave you that. And it really helped you turn a corner.
Massively helped me turn a corner. The other thing that really helped me and us was when we found our community, and that was through music.
It was through music.
Which is awesome. And it was you joining a band, which then in turn
kind of embraced into that family.
Yeah.
And with their partners, and kind of got us out the house doing some more social things.
Which is mega important. You've got to just get yourself out. You've got to try and be around people. Even if you don't want to talk to anyone yet, just go sit in a cafe. Be around people.
Be around people. Get the body moving is another great strategy.
Yeah.
So when you're really in your head, get into your body instead. So whether for me that might be drumming, for Lauren that might be going to the gym, it might be going out dancing, go for a walk in nature, clear your mind by getting physical.
Yeah. What other strategies?
Well, I would say journaling, writing things down. So for creative people, that might be a poem or song lyrics.
Your English accent came back out then. Poem.
Might be a poem or song lyrics or journaling, because you're brain dumping. You're getting everything out.
Which helps to get the emotion out, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I was reading something interesting. I think it was maybe in Finland, that it's encouraged for children even to have 15 minutes at the end of the day where they brain dump everything that's worrying them. And that's their time to worry. It's like a scheduled time to worry. You write it all down and then it's in the book. You can, go through things if you need to with your family, but that's
That's cool.
That's your portion. That's your time to deal with it.
Yeah.
And I was reading that that's quite a good strategy as well. Haven't tried it. Maybe if you guys have, you can drop us a comment. There's a lot of great online services as well.
Yeah.
Wait lists to see counsellors in person can be really long.
Yeah.
In the countries that we've experienced.
But there are some online services.
There are online services.
Listen to podcasts, you know.
Talk to friends. You know, you may have one friend that you can open up to. Do it.
Yeah, definitely.
If you have been like on tour with a group of people, have a WhatsApp group with them. Check in with each other. That really helped for me on a couple of tours because you're all going through the same. So I remember once we'd been playing with a different band somewhere in Europe and we flew back into Gatwick Airport and went to the bathroom and there was the most dingiest song playing. And then we got outside and it was grey and raining and you just think, oh, God, it's shit to be home. But at least we had a laugh about it together.
Yay.
And we like being negative. Sometimes us Brits need to reframe that.
Yes.
Yeah, do things that make you feel good, things that bring you joy. It could be colouring in, doing some art. What else? Puppy therapy.
Yeah, definitely puppies.
Animals, aren't they great?
Yeah.
You know, like they're always happy to see you. So I think whatever you try, there's always a strategy to help you feel better because post-tour blues and reverse culture shock, they're real things and you feel them in
real.
Your whole body. So seek help, talk to friends, do your journaling, do your creative stuff, get out in nature. Remember, get in your body when you're too in your head. And let us know if you have any strategies.
Yeah, actually.
Because we might learn from you guys.
100%, and then we can share them.
Yeah.
Share them around.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. Right.
Yeah.
I think it's time to refill our drinks. It's a bit hot here.
And our air conditioning in our podcast room is not working. And it's currently 31 degrees at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it's pretty warm.
Yeah. So this is the offstage life of a podcast.
So we have got a guest lined up for one of our next podcasts. We're really excited to talk about her experiences in music as a hard of hearing musician.
Yeah.
Can't wait. It's going to be so fun.
You're going to love her.
Yeah.
She's brilliant.
Lucy May.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Take care. What's your saying that you normally say?
Log on and log off? No.
I feel like you change it every time.
But guys, I've got a half top knot today.
Half top knot, yeah. But you're still top knotting.
I don't know. I think I just need my full top knot.
What do we think of the hairstyle today? It's kind of got a bit of Princess Leia.
I am Princess Lorraine.
You are, for sure.
Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoy. And we shall see you next time.
Have a great week.
Peace out.
Bye.